Chapter 4, Making the Rounds. A few days after your second, but no longer last date with Carter, you're going over the final details for the upcoming welcome dinner. So, does that sound good for the menu? It sounds fantastic. Thank you so much for handling the fine print, Fiona. Valerie, the hospital's administrator, smiles at you. At least one person in this place isn't jumping down my throat about divorcing their favorite surgeon. No problem. I know how important this dinner is. And I know that it shouldn't have been your responsibility, so I truly appreciate it. I probably shouldn't say this, but it's big of you to show up and help us even after, well, things was said. I know what it's like to be let down by a partner. You do? Valerie smiles ruefully. I divorced my ex-husband 3 months ago. I'm so sorry. I had no idea you and Robert were... Yes, we were. No regrets, but I understand how difficult the process is. Yeah. I lost a lot of friends here. I knew it would be hard, but it's even more painful than I expected. I lost a lot of friends in my divorce, too. If it helps, I tell myself that them taking sides is more of a reflection on them than me. I'll try to remember that. Hang in there, Fiona. You'll be okay, and you deserve to be okay. Thanks. It's more sympathy than you expected from anyone here, and you feel lighter than you have in a while as you turn back to your to-do list. Now that I've got your sign-off on the menu and decorations, I think we should be all set for... Sorry, there's one more thing. The main speaker for the dinner. Dr. Najian does the big speech every year, right? I already put her down. Then you'll have to cross her out. She had to fly out for a family emergency last minute, and she'll be out of town for the next 2 weeks. Great, so much for putting this dinner behind me. Just then the doors swing open, and in walks... Hi, Valerie. Miss Jacobs. Hi, Dr. Dawson. Did I get that right? Yep, but please call me Carter. If I'm going to help you with this dinner, you don't need to Dr. Dawson me all the time. It's not a bad ruse if you say so yourself, and to your relief, Valerie nods approvingly. I'm glad you came to check in, Carter. I've got to run to a meeting, but why don't you two talk and chat, and Fiona can take notes for me. No problem, Val. And then I'll leave you in Carter's capable hands. The mention of his hands makes you think about things that absolutely are not appropriate at the hospital. You suppress a small shiver as Valerie heads out, leaving you alone with Carter. And so, I am 100% down to help you with the dinner prep, but full disclosure, that was mostly an excuse to see you. Just texting since the other night hasn't been the same. The texts you've exchanged have mostly been light conversations, a few selfies, but they've still been the highlight of your days until now. No, this is much better. And then, while you're here, how about you come on a walk with me? I'm sure you know your way around, but I can give you an inside tour, show you what it's like here for the guests this dinner will be welcoming. A walk. That sounds lovely. As long as we keep things, you know, professional, of course. It just so happens that professional is my middle name. I don't remember seeing that little detail in your dating profile. You feel a thrill at mentioning the way you two meet, and even in the relative safety of this empty room. But okay, Dr. Carter, professional Dawson, show me around. Carter walks you through the halls you've passed many times, but it's much more than the cursory tour you received when you started helping with the events years ago. So, that's one of the nurses' stations. My favorite nurse, Hazel, works there. Why is she your favorite? Because she's old enough to be my grandmother and she doesn't take crap from anyone. She sounds feisty. I hope we run into her. If we do, just don't get in her way. You stroll onward, and Carter points out a door along the hallway. That's my go-to doctor's lounge. If you're going to hit up any lounge, it should be that one. What's so special about it? The snacks. People always love home-baked goods there, and it's got the best stocked vending machines in the whole hospital. Okay, what's your favorite snack? Do you go for salty or sweet? Sweet, always. That explains how excited he was about the souffle you shared that first night, although it might not all have been about the dessert. It works out in the baker's favor, then. No, it works out in my favor. As you pass through the intersection, Carter nods towards the ICU wing on the left. You've probably passed by our ICU, but what you might not know is that this it is the hottest commodity in the department. Why is that? It gets nicer. Sunlight. Good for patient and staff morale. You've really put a lot of thought into working here. He shrugs. Hard not to when I'm here 50-plus hours a week. In your professional opinion, then, what would new residents appreciate in a raffle at this dinner? Pens, stethoscopes, a map to the good snack room? No to the map. That intel's way too valuable for a raffle. Everyone gets a basic stethoscope when they start here. He holds up the stethoscope that's dangling around his neck. They're cheap, but they're not bad. Here, give it a try. You glance up and down the hallway, but no one's paying you any mind as other hospital staff bustles about on their own business. You should listen to my heart. You have a moment to wonder as your own daring as Carter blows on the stethoscope's diaphragm, warming it up a bit. And then he inserts the stethoscope's ear tips and rests the diaphragm on your chest, the metal slightly cool against your skin. Oh. But it's not just the metal that makes your skin prickle with goosebumps as he stands there with his palm resting against your chest. His eyes are on yours. You're acutely aware of the beating of your heart, the blood pounding in your ears. Your heart sounds perfect, aside from beating a little fast. I wonder why that could be. He smiles, and only the knowledge of where you are keeps you from leaning in to kiss him. Total medical mystery. He tucks the stethoscope back and around his neck as you take a step back, reminding yourself to keep some space between you. So all the new residents will have one of these, but what they could really use is good footwear. You never appreciate the importance of arch support until you're running around the hospital for 14 hours straight. That's great. I can do gift cards for high-end footwear. I never would have thought of that. You jot down some notes, and Carter pauses outside of a door. I need to check on a patient while I'm on this floor. Mind if we stop for a second? Of course. Carter leads you into the patient's room where an adorable boy is watching cartoons on a tablet. Hey, Oliver. Mind if I come in with a guest? Hi, Dr. Dawson. Sure. You're feeling well enough to stay up all night watching shows, I hear. The boy gives Carter a sheepish look. Please don't tell. My mom's not here to put my tablet away, so... It's okay, Ollie. Your secret's safe with me. Carter mimes zipping his lips, which makes Oliver giggle. He's good at this. Ollie, this is my friend, Fiona. Hi. What were you watching? I'm always looking for new shows. Then you gotta watch Frankie the Big Blue Robot. He's the best. He has a robot dog and a robot cat, and he flies around saving the robot galaxy. Reminds me of Roly Poly Oly. You're not very seriously taking this all in. The whole robot galaxy. Wow. I'll have to check it out. Carter smiles as he watches you and Oliver bond. Just don't stay up as late as Ollie here if you get hooked. Carter plucks a chart from beside the door and marks something off while Oliver pauses his show. Did you hear I had a hole in my heart and Dr. Dawson fixed it? I helped your heart surgeon, buddy. Dr. O'Malley did all the hard work, and I got to learn. But Oliver doesn't seem to pick up on the difference. He's just glad to be here. I just need to check your vitals, Ollie, if that's okay. With a needle? No needles, I promise. Carter bends down so he's at Oliver's eye level and looks into the little boy's eyes. I've never broken a promise, right? Okay, you can check my vitals if you really need to. While Carter warms up the metal diaphragm of a stethoscope, he mouths a few words to you. Can you help distract him? No problem. So, Oliver, what kind of snacks do you wish you had in here? It's easy. A chocolate chip cookie, as big as my face. Whoa, that's one big cookie. While Oliver nods solemnly, Carter takes the boy's pulse. I'd say you've earned it. I'll put in a good word with your mom about getting you some cookies. You keep talking to Oliver while Carter listens to his heart and breathing. Before long, Carter steps back from his bedside. You're all set, buddy. You're doing great. And let me know if you need anything, okay? Okay, Dr. Dawson. Bye, Fiona. You were nice. Oh, so were you. Get some rest, okay, Ollie? Oliver nods and immediately goes back to watching a show as you and Carter slip out of the room. You were really good with him. I wasn't doing anything special, just checking in. You forget that I've spent a lot of time around surgeons. I know all the department stereotypes. Cold, efficient. You can say control freaks, I won't be offended. But you're the opposite. I mean, do most surgeons even do post-op check-ins like that? No, they don't. A few check-ins are standard, especially after a big surgery like Ollie's. To make sure his stitches are holding up, sure, but I don't think the average surgeon stops by to check on a patient's vitals and says hi. Carter shrugs and shakes his head. I guess I don't see the point of medicine if you aren't treating your patients like people, and I really wanted to make sure Oliver was okay. He's got a single mom. She's been worried sick. Reminds me of my mom raising me solo. So I try to send her updates when she can't be here. That is one of the sweetest things I've ever heard. You're pretty special, Carter Dawson. I hope you know that. I think that's my line. It's not a line, it's the truth. He chuckles softly. Also kind of my line, but thank you. I kind of know how hard Ollie's mom must be working to look after him, and I can't exactly pay her rent the way I do for my mom. So this feels like the least I can do. Now I get why he pushed himself through school so fast, not just to get this job, but to help support his mom. His ambition and passion is a stark contrast to your current lack of direction, but it's also inspiring. Carter, just as you turn towards him, two nurses rush down the hallway with a card. Sorry, out of the way! Carter steps aside just in time, but one nurse accidentally knocks you against a nearby gurney. They vanish down the hallway in an instant as Carter reaches out to steady you, his gaze sweeping over your face. Are you okay? I'm fine. I'll have a fun bruise on my thigh later, but nothing to worry about. Are you sure? He nods towards a nearby x-ray room. From the lack of file folder beside the door, you can tell that it's empty. I could give you a quick once-over, make sure you're okay. Bro, she didn't fall down a flight of stairs. Hey, listen, we know you just want to check out her thigh. You know you're fine apart from the bruise, but it would be perfect excuse for the two of you to be alone for a while. Let Carter give you a checkup. If you insist, I guess I could make time for a checkup. Thank you. I'll make it worth your while. Carter ushers you inside the unoccupied exam room and gestures towards the table. Please have a seat on the exam table, Miss Jacobs. Okay, Doctor. Once you're settled, there's a playful glint in his eyes as he steps up to you, running an appraising eye over your body. So I heard you have a contusion on your left thigh. What happened that led to this injury? He winks at you and leans in to whisper, I know I was there, but it's a good practice to ask. In that case, you sit up a little straighter as you answer him. A nurse hip-checked me by accident, and I kind of fell into a gurney. Oh, that sounds painful. I'm so sorry. I'll live. I've got a great doctor caring for me. Ah, good news for both of you, then. He takes a pen light from one pocket and shines it in your eyes, his hand resting on your knee while he checks your vision. Any pre-existing conditions you're worried about? Medically, you have a clean bill of health, but while you've got him here, there are a few things that come to mind. Lately, I've been, a little breathless. He arches an eyebrow, and you try to keep a serious expression on your face. That could be nothing to worry about, but we should double-check. When did these symptoms start? Well, I went on a few dates with this guy. Now, when I think about him, sometimes I forget to breathe. His fingers flex against your knee. His touch is gentle but warm. I see. I think the best medicine for that exposure, therapy. Keep seeing the guy, and with time you'll learn how to breathe again. You drive a hard bargain, Doc, but I think I can manage that. Carter glances at his clipboard and then back at you. Okay, are you on any current medications? Nope, none. Alright, do you have any other medical concerns? Yes, actually. What's on your mind? You would think that when a woman says she's kind of breathless, right? And you're a doctor. I'm just saying. You fight the urge to grin, letting yourself tease him a little. There's this doctor I really like seeing. And that's a concern? Because I really shouldn't be into him, but I can't seem to help it. He scribbles something on his clipboard, then hands you the piece of paper. Dr. Dawson prescribes 1 dose of letting yourself be happy. Doctor's orders. Oh, I can't possibly ignore doctor's orders. Smiling, he puts down his clipboard. I think that wraps up my questions for now. May I take a look at your injury? Of course. Just go easy on me, okay? He nods, meeting your gaze for a moment. I'd never, ever hurt you. Now just relax for me. Carter begins gingerly pressing a few other spots on your leg and arm, and on the same side as the injury, then he moves your joints. I'm testing for soreness. How does that feel so far? It feels normal, no pain. Good, that's what I like to hear. His gentle hands on your body make your heart race as he attends to you. Maybe getting bowling pinned by that nurse wasn't so bad after all. He works his way up your legs, rolling your pants up just enough to examine the bruise setting in on your lower thigh. Ouch, it's gonna look like a watercolor sunset this time tomorrow. I think its bark is worse than its bite. It doesn't hurt too much. Carter gently rubs his thumb around the area, checking for any broken skin. And good news, I don't see any other issues aside from the bruise. I'll squeeze his hand, slide his hand up further. Listen, we're playing doctor, damn it! There aren't any more bruises hiding around it, are there? You slide his hand up, brushing over the hem of your clothes along with your inner thigh, and he sucks in a soft breath. Only one way to be sure. His fingers trail over you, gently pressing and teasing while your heart races. There's a sudden ache between your thighs that has nothing to do with your run-in with a gurney. Looks like you're all good, but if you ever want a follow-up exam... He slowly lets his hands drop as he smiles at you, that invitation hanging in the air. I'll let you know, Doctor. Carter finishes his examination, gives you a soft smile. I'm happy to report you have a clean bill of health aside from that bruise. There are no fractures or anything to be concerned about. Phew. And if you don't mind my saying so, Miss Jacobs, you seem to be in perfect health otherwise. He's obviously flirting, but it's still flattering to hear. I'm glad to hear. Your thorough exam put my mind at ease. Good. And if you have any other concerns, feel free to come to me. I'm happy to check you out. He winks and you laugh. If you were this worried about a bruise, I'd hate to scare you with an actual injury. He grins, shrugging one shoulder. I can handle the tough stuff, I swear. This was just an easy excuse to be close to you. Reach out and touch his cheek. You can't stop yourself from reaching up and putting your hand on his cheek. For a moment, he leans into your touch. I'll take all the excuses you've got. Same here. He smiles at you, and with a scant space between you, you suddenly feel like nothing at all and entirely too much. Fiona. Heart racing, you start to lean in for a kiss when someone knocks on the door. Crap. You spring apart when Carter steps away from you and unlocks it. A nurse pokes her head in. Sorry to interrupt. I was hoping to use this room, but I can try to find another if you're busy. Not at all. We're finished here. You and Carter step out of the room, and you slip back into the "we're just acquaintances" mode, making sure to keep a decent distance between you. Thank you for your, all your help today. The two of you share a small, knowing smile that makes your heart leap. Anytime. It was fun to show you my world. It was really nice to see you, Fiona? You freeze, swallowing the words you were about to say as Sydney strolls up the hall towards you. I didn't know you were here. Sid. Let's just be social. It's nice to see you. You give him a polite smile and an instinctive step further away from Carter. You too. What are you up to? A bead of sweat slides down your lower back. You never were a good liar, but Carter jumps in. She's doing some last-minute dinner planning. I ran into Fiona in the hallway and decided to help. That's great. Thanks, Carter. Hey, why don't you two join me for a bite to eat? You can fill me in. Your stomach drops as you share a look with Carter. You want to say no, but what if that makes Sid suspicious? He's no longer your husband. You got a divorce. You can shut up about it. You take a deep breath and give your ex-husband, Carter's boss, a weak smile. The food sounds perfect. Before you know it, you're sitting in the hospital's cafeteria with your ex and the man you're, well, not dating. So how's the dinner planning going? Any updates? We've got some great ideas for the raffle items, and I've been thinking about asking Dr. Beck to do our keynote speech. Oh, damn. I forgot. Dr. Nugent would be out. Beck might be on call that night. While the two of them chat, you try to keep a cool expression on your face and not let your eyes linger on Carter. Just eat your salad, act normal. Sid cannot know I'm into his star surgeon. Fiona, I have to say I'm a little surprised. You nearly choke on a cherry tomato. You are? After I strong-armed you into the dinner, I figured you just want to check a few boxes and get it over with. I didn't realize you were this invested. I don't want to let Valerie down. The hospital has a reputation to maintain, and after all these years of event coordinating, I wasn't about to leave Val high and dry. It's not entirely a lie, especially not after how kind Valerie was earlier. I don't think you're in any danger of that. He smiles at you, and it takes an effort to keep your own smile politely constrained, but thankfully, Sid buys the ruse. Then I really owe you one. Valerie would have chewed my head off if I let this event fall through. Sid falls into conversation with Carter again, which gives you a moment to breathe. It's hard to sit next to Carter and pretend you barely know him, pretend you haven't kissed him, felt his hands on you, sighed against his lips. Get it together, Fiona. Now is not the time for fantasies. Maybe if I text Nat, she can fake an emergency and call me, or I could always fall out of my chair. Oh, man, I know I was in the sitting position, but, you know, anything would be preferable to keeping this ruse up a moment longer. But thankfully, before you can do anything dramatic, Valerie approaches your table. Sid, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we need you to look at a patient in room 9. No problem. You stand and gather your tray, ready to make the quickest exit in history. Well, good luck with that, and, thanks for lunch, Sid. Nice seeing you again, Val. You too. I hope you know you're always welcome here. Sid heads off with Valerie, and you return your tray and head for the hospital's exit with Carter by your side. The moment your ex is out of earshot, Carter whistles softly. So, that was the most awkward thing imaginable. Are you okay? I'm about 50% adrenaline right now. I don't think he picked up on anything, but God, that was not fun. I'm sorry. I can't believe he actually suggested we all have lunch. Do you know how many times he ever had lunch with me when we were married? I'm guessing not many. No. The stress of running into Sid makes your heart race, and so does the sympathy on Carter's face, for very different reasons. Which isn't totally a bad feeling. Carter glances at you and then suddenly stops near a door labeled viewing room. He makes sure no one is in earshot and then murmurs. The room should be empty right now. We could sneak in for a quick goodbye. From the warmth in his voice, you know exactly what kind of goodbye he has in mind. Something you haven't been able to share. all day. And of course it's gonna be a diamond choice. Finally, some privacy. We'll go as far as we can. I'd love to see what your viewing rooms have to offer, Mr. Dawson. Right this way, then. You both make sure no one is in the hallway before Carter opens the door and lets you in. Sure enough, there's no one in the viewing room or the operating theater it overlooks. You were right, no one but us. Lucky us, then. You take a step towards him and do what you've been longing to do since the first moment you saw him today. Not wanting to wait 1 second more, you wrap your arms around him and press your lips to his in a searing kiss. Fiona. He clutches your waist, and in a flash he walks you backwards until your back is pressed against the nearest wall. Hi. Hi, but aren't we supposed to be saying goodbye? He groans and traces his fingers over your hips. Don't remind me. You stand on your tiptoes and press your lips to Carter's. His lips are soft, warm against yours, and you lock your hands together behind his neck. You kiss and kiss and kiss, when with every flick of your tongue against his, you only want more. You kiss until you're both breathless. It was hard to walk around acting like we barely know each other. For me, too. I was paranoid that I'd look at you and then Sid or someone else would be able to tell. That's a good thing we're here now. I can finally do what I've been thinking about all day. You can guess the answer, but you ask anyway. And what's that? He kisses you in response, his tongue curls against yours, making you feel like there's fire in your belly. This. You're a bad influence, you know that? You can't blame me. You just happen to look beautiful all the time. You lean forward and kiss him again. The kiss is soft but insistent, and you press your front against his, desperate for more contact. No one can see us through the other side of the window, right? Because if they could, that would be kinda hot. No, they can't see anything up here. But I didn't know you had an exhibitionist streak. I didn't either. You wiggle your hips a little, your pelvis pressing against his. His pupils go wide from your touch, and you can feel him stiffening against you. I'll keep that in mind. You pepper kisses along his jawline, inhaling the scent of him. It's pure Carter. He can't wear any fragrances at the hospital. You scope this room out pretty quickly. Have you done this in here before? He shakes his head and kisses you at the deliciously sweet spot just behind your ear. No, this is a first. Wow, that must be special then. You say it jokingly, but Carter pulls back so he can gaze into your eyes. You are special, Fiona. I'm gonna keep saying that until you believe me. The sincerity in his voice almost knocked you off your feet. Thank you. Want surges through your body with your eyes on Carter as you untuck the hem of his shirt and slide your hands underneath, displaying them over his stomach. It's your first time getting your hands on his bare skin, and he groans softly, his sculpted muscles tensing beneath your touch. God, I've been thinking about you touching me since the moment we met. Then it's a shame I didn't have a chance to do this sooner. Even on your dates, you didn't feel quite this bold, but somehow knowing you only have a few stolen minutes with him makes you want more. You inch your hands up his chest, and he lets out a little groan of pleasure as you so lightly drag your nails over his firm pecs and then down his stomach. God, your body is amazing. He chuckles softly, and you feel the vibration of it through the pads of your fingers. Running around the hospital for 18 hours a day will do that to you. I do wish you had more free time, but you're not sad about what it's done for my physique? Exactly. Keeping your hands under his shirt, you slip them around to his lower back against him, flush against you. You kiss him again, but this time he parts your lips with his, deepening the kiss. It sets every nerve in your body on fire. In between kisses, you murmur against him. How many rooms are there in the hospital? I'm not sure. Somewhere over 4 dozen. He kisses the hollow of your throat, making you moan a little. Why? Oh, just curious. It's nice to think about exploring more of them like this. It's a risk you know you shouldn't take, but even the fantasy makes heat pool in your stomach as Carter laughs low and soft. Oh, that's good. You could add it to the list. You're really invested in my list, aren't you? He kisses the tops of your breasts and you throw back your head. Oh, what can I say? I'm a completionist. Carter, the don't leave any marks doesn't matter because you're not married. How am I supposed to leave when you're doing that? How am I supposed to watch you leave? You tilt his head up to kiss him again, nipping at his bottom lip and then soothe away the sting with your tongue. God. Maybe we'll just have to meet up again soon. One of his hands clutches the small of your back, pressing you flush against his front. I'm counting on him. You kiss until your lips are swollen, but when you hear conversation out in the hall, you reluctantly peel yourself away from Carter. I hate to say it, but we probably shouldn't draw this goodbye out any longer. You're right. We're lucky we got as long as we did. He tucks his shirt back in. You reach up to wipe some of your lipstick from the corner of his mouth. Seeing how disheveled he got for you is its own kind of turn-on. There, now you should be good to go. As you pull back, it catches your hand and kisses the inside of the wrist. Thanks for looking out for me and for the goodbye. Believe me, it was my pleasure. The two of you sneak back into the hallway, glancing around to make sure that no one saw you come out of the viewing room. But the hallway is empty. Phew, glad no one saw us slipping out of there together. I had a great day with you. I hope. But he's cut off when his emergency beeper goes off. Damn, sorry. I have to run. I'll see you soon, though, right? Yeah, see you soon. He's gone in a flash, and you stare after him wistfully. Not quite the goodbye I'd hoped for, but he has responsibilities. I can't forget that. At the end of the night, you pour yourself a glass of wine, your mind racing as you think about the ups and downs of the day. Getting to see Carter made all this dinner planning worth it. Despite the risk, there was a thrill in walking through those halls beside him with only the two of you knowing your secret. But I could have done without Sid showing up. Thank God I won't have to see him at the dinner that you know of. After all the bustle and adrenaline of the day, sitting alone in your quiet apartment makes you feel restless. Until your phone rings, shattering the quiet when you see the name on the screen, your stomach drops. Sid. Hi, Fiona. Sid, 2 convos in one day, that's new. Ouch, but okay. I kinda deserve that. Just a little. Why are you calling? Valerie told me you need a keynote speaker at tomorrow's dinner. Since Neogen and Beck can't make it, I figured I owed you one. So I volunteered to fill the spot. Look at that. What did I say? That's great. Just great. Anyway, without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember that if you did enjoy the content, to like, share, and subscribe. There's also the Join feature and the Subscribe Plus feature. Also head down the description. Plenty of other ways to support and things to check out. Other than that, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Really, truly. Where do you think this is going to go? Who, what, when, where, and why? But hey, look at that. I was right. Yet again. Catch you all later. Peace out.